What's up, boopers? Today we're talking about the road to Valencia. We're going to break this video into two parts. Part 1 is how you can prepare for the upcoming Valencia patch on June 1st. And part 2 will talk about what you are preparing yourself for. Brought to you by Angel Dust, who told me to make this video while I was killing Beg. So let's get started. Boop. First, let's talk about level. The majority of content for Valencia is for players at around the level 55-56 mark. I'd recommend using the 30% XP buff over the next 2 weeks to try and hit 56. The grind will take about 30 hours, but it unfortunately does not get much easier. All levels beyond 55 are pretty grindy. 57 does get a bit easier with Valencia, but not much, so if you're up for it, you should even go for 57. You can grind Sausens or the recently nerfed and much more viable Pirates, and choose to grind in groups or solo. Now, if the grind to 56 is too much for you, keep in mind that in some point in the Valencia patches in the Korean version, there is a quest chain that grants a massive XP boost, 30% of your level from 55 to 56 just from completing the quest chain. That starts here and can be accessed under the guide menu of your Black Spirit. This cuts the grind time down quite a lot, but we don't know how far into Valencia we'll be getting this quest chain. I'd say pace yourself for 56 over the next 2 weeks. For me personally, I'm going after 10% a day, which is just about 3 hours of grinding a day. That way it doesn't get too tedious. Besides this is the increased Blackstone drop rate, making grinding much more profitable at the moment if you sell them, or you can stockpile them for fail stacks for the upcoming Enchant Frenzy. The next big thing you can do to prepare yourself is in regards to gear. Firstly, we know that enchanting plus 16 and above will be available come June 1st, so you should now be dumping all of your energy into gathering to try and get hard or sharp Blackstone fragments. We've also got 30% gathering XP to boost your gathering. Speeding up gathering can be done using Balanos specials or other gathering items, and you can up your chances to get these rare fragments by using lucky tools. There are also several life skill quests from the Black Spirit Guide that in the later stages grant them free from the quests. Alternatively, you can try to buy them off the auction house, but they get sniped so fast by people using script macros, I wouldn't bother unless you are using one yourself. We still don't know exactly how many we'll need to force to plus 18, but plus 18 will be the standard endgame come Valencia, so you'll want to have as much of these as possible to get there as soon as possible. For armor, Grunel and boss armor will still be the best, so try and get all your armor ultimated in time to get plus 18, and keep farming scrolls and field bosses to grab your boss armor if you haven't yet. Personally, I've only gotten lucky for one, my big purple pajamas. For weapons, Laverto or Kazarka will still be ideal. If you don't have either, then I recommend really focusing on sniping the AH or farming field bosses to snag one. With the influx of new gear and enchanting, memory fragments are also skyrocketing in price, so an ideal way to farm them instead is to buy 5 scrolls and form a group of 5 people who also have 5 scrolls as well. And when you complete the scrolls together, it'll give you a net gain in silver value in memory fragments. Accessories are going to be shifting quite a bit with Valencia. While we still don't have confirmed hunting for whale earrings, we will likely be getting the new ring, Crescent Guardian ring, and the new belt, the Basilisk belt, meaning the only accessory you should still prioritize at this point is your Auger Ring. You should aim for at least a Pry Auger Ring, which is a pain in the ass, but if you don't go Pry, you might as well just go for a Tri-Barres necklace. Much cheaper and easier to get. And don't stress too much about witch earrings, marks of shadows, or tree spirit belts anymore, as they'll shortly be replaced, unless you've already got like a Tri. For offhand, we will not be seeing the dragon offhand at the start of Valencia, so try and get the offhand you're using right now ultimated as well, as you'll be using it well into the start of Node Wars. Lastly, make sure you've got an Alchemy Stone by now. If you haven't, you should utilize the gathering frenzy you are doing for sharp and hard fragments to gather materials that'll help you level your alchemy and craft a decent alchemy stone. With that, next let's look at mounts. Come Valencia, we haven't confirmed we will be getting tier 8 yet, but everyone's going to want to have at least one camel. You can get a camel almost instantly if you trade in horses for tokens and then buy the camel with those tokens. Basically, try to get some spare horses. Tier 2 or Tier 3 level 30 horses should be enough to trade them in for tokens. And with these tokens, you will be able to buy a camel right away to traverse the desert. I believe one Tier 5 level 30 horse would be enough to exchange and get enough tokens for one camel. For traders, you'll want to have about 20 spare contribution points to connect to the Valencia castle. Even more if you want to start gathering resources in Valencia, but we'll get more into that in part 2 of this video. So all in all, your goals for the next 2 weeks ought to be to hit level 55-56, get a Auger Ring with ultimate armor and ultimate offhand or boss armor, and a Laverto or a Kazarka, and some spare level 30 tier 3 horses or a tier 5 horse level 30, about 20 spare contribution points, an Alchemy Stone, and yeah, June 1st does not have confirmed night vendor, not confirmed gambling for accessory, and not confirmed hunting, but an additional prep you can do is spam the hunting daily quests in these locations here on your map to gain hunting XP so that your hunting is decently high already when whales and hunting are finally released. If you are a completionist, you should also try and take the time to get all knowledge and max energy you possibly can in the Media and Calpheon regions, but hey, BDO ain't like most MMOs. New content doesn't mean the old stuff goes obsolete, it just means the world's about to get 30% bigger. I'll have part 2 up as soon as possible so that you'll know what to do after June 1st, but until then, I am booping out. Boop!